Welcome to all of you. Lovely to see a full house here and welcome on behalf of RDM as well. I'm really pleased to have two beautiful ladies, Ratna and Ilahi, here with me. And RDM is a brand which is about, of course, textile at its core, but it's about art, culture, performing arts, music, and which is what we like to celebrate. And Ratna's new book, which is why we are all here, Listen to the House, beautifully captures the entire ethos of how art, literature, performing arts is so much a part of our life and provides succor to us whether it is good times or bad times. And I think when we talked about it, it just seemed so right for us to do this kind of a thing at the Adyam store because I mean it's just very very synchronized in our thoughts. So once again a warm welcome to you, and yeah, over to so maybe what we'll do is I would like to for the benefit of all of us here, we'll talk about the book of course, but what we'll do is that maybe we start with Ilahi reading a few special paragraphs from the book, and then we will get into the more about the book.
Adab. Thank you everyone for coming so close after Eid, and I'm sure all the celebrations are still going on. So Ratna asked me to be a part of this wonderful event, and she gave me a book to read called Listen to the House. And the tagline was, it's about, like what she wrote to me was, to the Hyderabad we love. And that of course sold the book to me. I have read the book, not in its entirety, but whatever I have read, I want to tell you one thing. Please pick up a copy. And the age-old thing is that, hi. The age-old thing is that, never judge a book by its cover. So I'm sorry, but please don't judge the book by this cover. When it came to me, it looked like a textbook, and I was like, Ratna, what is this cover? But genuinely, it's a fabulous book inside. Don't judge it by its cover. So I'll read the first, how the book starts, and then we can talk about it a little more. Then I can read another passage, so you're familiar with the characters of the book. This is how this lovely book starts. It is the countries, the cities, the streets, the houses we have grown up in that define our lives. How can we ever escape them? We look at our life years later by the streets we have played in, the houses we have lived in, and the cities whose bylanes we have crisscrossed. We are that memory, finally. This was Malvika's childhood home. She thought of her house as a mother. No, not a mother, but a mother's mother. A maternal grandmother who had loved and adored her anyway, no matter what she did and said. A gentle grandmother of a house. It was this house that held her in its arms when she was brought from the nursing home, the placenta and the blood washed off from her little body. This was the house on whose walls she had drawn with her wax crayons to have her mother thrash her for ruining the walls painted a week before Diwali. But the house understood her love and let her not just doodle on its wall, but lick its paint too.
Thank you. So, I'll also begin by actually reading what is perhaps Ratna's inspiration, because she's quoted one of my favorite authors, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, and that is, life is not what one lived, but what one remembers, and how one remembers it in order to recount it. So on that note, I think Ratna, it is a memoir. It is about Hyderabad, which we perhaps had and we have lost over the years. So it is a recounting of how the Hyderabad used to be. But however, within the memoir, you have used further a reference of memories of how these two protagonists are actually reminiscing their childhood also together. So it's literally like memories within memories. So I think if you'd just like to talk about why did you choose this style and what really makes it unique in terms of the narration.
Hi, thank you Adyam. Thank you for hosting this lovely event. And so many of you coming today. Can you hear me?
Slightly.
Yeah. Actually, Manish, I didn't think of it as a book about memories. I just started writing, and then everything fell into place, and then I had this technique of doing it in the form of a letter where I'm commenting it. The letters are almost like a sutradhar commenting on what life had happened. At Gabriel also, by chance I found this. So it was not that the story was built around that thing of memory. In fact, you are very astute. You have given it so much meaning. Yeah. Yeah, that's better.
So actually, yeah, the other thing was letters. So there is beautiful usage of letters here, and again, this is something which is like a lost art and a lost form. And somehow letters, even if I read my old letters even today, sometimes it's always so much easier to pour out things on a letter rather than actually telling somebody face to face, because it becomes a medium where you are able to communicate, and also when you specifically look at, and there are many instances in the book where they actually talk about what had happened with them almost 15-20 years back, and today when they recount, or when they are looking at it in retrospect, they're actually able to interpret it very differently, and actually being able to say that to each other in a very blunt, easier way. So any thoughts on why and how
Yeah.
did you use letter as a medium?
I feel when you're living life, you don't have that perspective. It comes much later as you're growing old. So I think that this book gave me the perspective about Hyderabad. That whole beautiful scene, though I say it myself, of all theatres coming down. We all grew up on this lovely theatres like Skyline, Venkatesh, what was that, Deepak, Plaza, Sangeet, and all of them came down. And there's a scene where I think one of the girls comments on that. She thinks about it and comments. What were you asking me about the form?
Why letters?
I think letters gave me the leverage to comment on things. Otherwise, I didn't know how to do it. But then it complicated my life also, because on one level I'm saying today this is what is happening in my life. Then I'm going back somewhere and saying this is what happened to me in Hyderabad long ago. So I like to complicate, I guess. It was a bit tough to keep the narrative informed.
So sure, on that note, Elahi, I'm sure you have also fond memories of...
But I want to ask Ratna one question.
Sure.
This probably is jumping the gun because you've not read the book. But usually letters, when we look at them, it's something of the past. Because someone has written a letter to you, then you open it and then it's about the past. But you have flipped it on its head. The present is the letters and the past is what's described as the present.
Right.
Am I confused? So the present in the book
sounds so smart.
the present in the book is when the girls communicate through letters, but the past is written as the present. Why did you flip the letter writing technique on its head?
Like I said, it's only the first half when I'm talking of their childhood, and then they're commenting when they go off to New York and
New York,
Paris.
yeah.
But the second half, they're actually
Is
living
the present.
Yeah, they're actually saying this is what happened to me in New York. This is what I did. So,
Okay.
but first half does flip that.
Yeah.
Actually, just to give further context on this, I think that was another thing which I shared with Ratna, that the whole premise of the book is also about displacement. Because there are these two girls who have been in Hyderabad in the 70s or 60s, and then now today in the present when the book is, one of them is based out of New York and the other one is a dancer who travels all over the world. But there is this concept of displacement which is very strong, and how Malvika, the one who's based in New York, is the one who feels, in spite of all the opportunities that this new country brings to her, she's always pining for what she left behind in Hyderabad. And on the other hand, the other friend, Harini, is the one who travels all over the world, but at least she has a rooting because she keeps coming back to Hyderabad. So she has a little bit of more rooting in her lifestyle because she's anchored to Hyderabad. However, in the end of it, she also wants to settle down and feel some bit of permanency. So on this note, on displacement and permanency, and I'm sure you'll have many more, I understand that you have a house in Bombay and you actually moved between Bombay and Hyderabad. So why this whole wanting to stay with your old as well as venturing into new spaces?
Oh, with me there's no wanting. I'm a quintessential Hyderabadi. I mean, that is my pehchan, that is my shan. That
Yes.
is what it is. I am known and I'm proud to be a Hyderabadi. Bombay is where work takes me. So luckily I have a house which is my naniyal. My parents are from Bombay, so we have a house there which is lucky. But much as I love Hyderabad, I don't like Bombay very much. I still say that I manage to survive because I have two cities to call home. I don't know if I could just live exclusively in one city, but that could be me. I grew up in Banjara Hills, right? So the Banjara in me is very strong. So I don't know whether it's just about the wandering lust or whatever, but I survive because I have two cities that I call home. Hyderabad, to all old Hyderabadis who grew up in the 60s and the 70s, however it may have changed physically, has not changed even one iota, and that I can give it to you in writing. And when I say this is, we've opened a cultural center for Lamakan, some of you might have been there. And every time people go there, they say, is it like Rang Sharda? Is it like, were you trying to create Prithvi? And I'm like, no, we were recreating our drawing rooms.
Yeah.
You know, हमारे घर में महफिलां जमती थी, लोग आते थे, चाय चूल्हे पर रहती थी, समोसे पान आते थे. And that's exactly how we grew up, and that's exactly what we're recreating. Because we've taken those spaces away from our youth. And our children go to cafe coffee days and Starbucks and eat muffins and listen to Bollywood songs, which is, you know, literally as much as our fault as someone else. So for me, it's just Hyderabad. I am Hyderabadi.
So that continuity
No,
is important.
I have not been displaced. Yeah.
No, in my case, I wanted to get the hell out of Hyderabad. I wanted to see the world. I wanted to go to New York. I wanted to go to Paris. But at the end of it, you're pining for that upma and gongura and my culture and the language. And like I evoke a lot of that sensuousness of growing up in Hyderabad, the smells and the tastes and the things. So I think, so the book is all about, you've seen the whole world and then you want to come back to your roots. You mold yourself in a city, it doesn't matter, it's Hyderabad here, but it could be anything else. You may be from Delhi or you want to go back. So, it's,
So I also have some part of me.
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You need to.
Yeah.
But I have to interrupt. No other city wants people to come back as much as Hyderabad does. Hyderabadis are the one, you know, Bombay. I would meet people in Rome, Milan, either udhar, they would say, nothing like Bombay. That has changed in the last 15, 20 years. They cannot stand the city anymore. Even if you looked at armed forces, people who went on these jobs and took them all over the place, the most number of people settle back in Hyderabad, or Sikandrabad, or Vayupur, or Puri, or Sainik Puri. I don't see all of them settling back in Delhi, or metros I'm talking about. They might settle back in Pune or something. But Hyderabad as a city is home. It really is your grandmother's home.
That's what I said, even mothers can get
Exactly.
from.
Yeah.
So actually on another thing which is very, and it's lovely to see that there is a lot of reference to textiles in the book. So you have reference to Gadwal for its purity and for a wedding sari and what the, I think Harini chooses to wear for the wedding. And also you refer to Venkatgiri for the hot summer, and you refer to the bright colors that the village women wear. Also you refer to some Siraj saying that Telia Romal is something that you should buy because it will go extinct, and it has truly in its purest form. And then you also refer to V&A and say that how V&A has taken a lot of our textiles, but at least it has created a repository. So where does this love for textiles comes from, and how did you think of, or did it all naturally happen as you were building the characters, that you sort of translated your love of textiles onto them, or was there another?
Yeah, I've been a textile now, but I've worn Venkatgiris to college, and like we spoke,
Yeah.
to starch Venkatgiris to the university, and you'd worry that you'd get it all be crushed. So it was part of growing up, and obviously I had to bring in these elements, especially Gadwals, Venkatgiris, Ikats. It was part of growing up. So I think it was part of the memory which I was trying to evoke.
Right, and similar is for the
Malvika's
food.
Mrs. wearing this mother's
Saris,
saris.
yes.
Yeah.
So
Especially
yeah,
America,
that-
I find it so like.
So I mean, being in the textile space, that really touched
Yeah.
me, because very few books actually have this kind of passionate relationship with textiles woven into fiction. And of course, the similar thing we experience also when it comes to food narrations that you have. Those are also extremely emotional. There is like a full chapter which is about the whole preparation of avakai coming together. So that is a beautiful, and like we were discussing, and when I read book, I always look at it and then I keep putting a visual vocabulary to it. So like you said the other day, I think the Mirch Masala is a movie
Yeah.
which comes to mind when you're reading that chapter. But yes, like for example, even till today, sometimes when you have bottled pickles, it's like high street fashion,
Yeah.
because it's really clinical, it's just very well packaged, it's very cookie cut, but it doesn't have that taste of what one could actually create by, in this case, about 100 women coming together to just do the process of avakai together. So again, if you have something to add on the food memories.
So I've actually seen this in my grandmother's house. You know, avakai being prepared, it was a whole ritual. People would go for that mango to Mosanzari market, get the curry size, and it couldn't be made any old time. It had to be made on the Kartik, the hottest day in Hyderabad. And we would all wait eagerly for that avakai to be open so that we could eat. And mostly it was the avakai, right? And upma and gongura.
And of course the
The
pachdi.
gongura.
So you have any food
She
memories
had
that
a-
you'd like
You
to
know,
recall?
it is so funny when I read the book and it was nostalgia and it was Hyderabad in the 70s. And I just did not have any of these as my nostalgia because I grew up in Muslim Hyderabad. So we never made pachadis and we never made, I mean, this all came to me in my life when I met Nagesh with Hyderabad Blues, and then I went into, knowing, I had never been to Narayanpura in my life except to go for exams if our hall center was Reddy College or something. So, that part of Hyderabad was so lost to us, it was only to go watch movies. So when all this came out, and then when they said Gongura mutton, I realized how this is our Gosh, it's our Ambada Gosh. So it was very similar on both fronts. But my Muslim Hyderabad had none of these memories. We used to go to Sangeet, we used to go to Anand, we used to go to Sham Talkies. But Venkatesh and all we never went to. I told you I don't know. They were Telugu movies, exactly. And I still don't know Telugu as a language. It's only Dakhini and English or jo bhi hai malum. So this was actually fascinating कि इतनी देर के बाद when you say a book about Hyderabad, तो उठा के I'm thinking how ये तो पूरा मेरे को मालूम, और कुछ समझ में नहीं आ रहा. मतलब वो 2-3 डांस स्टेप्स के नाम लिखे पढ़ के आई उसको like बच्चा तक का I have no idea what she was talking about, and I felt very humbled that there was this big part of Hyderabad which they called nostalgic. Because we kept saying that NTR came and Teluguized Hyderabad, NTR came and he made it so Telugu because we were Nizam के बाद हम लोग आते थे, बीच में कोई था नहीं. So it was very
So actually such a coincidence because sorry.
You go and you.
No, I'm just saying that. So I am a Kais community from Hyderabad, so which is completely third world in a way. But of course, Kais community takes from best of both the worlds.
But
I think.
mostly us, right?
Yes.
Because
So, but you're so right because even my memories are very different from either of the ones. But that's the beauty of places like Hyderabad and Lucknow, that they have such a syncretic culture that all these religions so nicely coexist and they all give you very varied, diverse experiences. And it is really nice that you brought this up because that's the beauty of a city like Hyderabad, because everything coexists and everybody enjoys the other part of it as well, as and when they're exposed to it.
I also wanted to say something. This is not necessarily just Hyderabad. I was just evoking memories of my memories of Hyderabad. It's not supposed to be complete nostalgia. I'm not saying this is a book of history.
all lies. Please read the book and then we'll have another one. And then we'll see
That also I've done.
whether it's
I've done a
universal or whether
non-fiction
it's only
book. I've
Hyderabad.
done a non-fiction book. Please read that.
So, on a very different note, I obviously found it interesting to see how you interpreted men characters. So there are 3 characters. There is Siraj, there is David, and there is Vikram. And they all have, like Vikram is somebody who's not able to sort of adjust to new environment. He's somebody who wants it his way. Siraj is somebody who's gone into a shell and he's chosen to be a loner. Whereas David is somebody who's a creative maverick and therefore he is self-indulgent. Now, are all these characters therefore in some way for you aspirational, or are they a social commentary, or is it something where you are making a comment as to how men have this, inherent weakness which perhaps women don't?
Or was it secular to get one of each religion? Hey, क्या बात कर? Vikram, Siraj, David. Karthik Singh या Karnal Singh बाकी है.
No, basically I wanted to keep the structure so tight. It was about these 2 girls. Everybody else was only incidental. Also at the end of it, I'm saying you have to find yourself. It doesn't have to be a man or a child. As women, and then this happens as we get older. We realize that there's more to us than being a wife or a mother or thing, which is the stage I am in right now. You discover yourself, and that is what this book is about. Hyderabad is incidental. It's just that this is a city I knew well. Otherwise, actually, I was going to base it on Madras or something like that. But I didn't know it that well. Or Bangalore. Bangalore, actually, I was very tempted.
Yeah, but it does full justice to it.
Yeah, it does.
Then I said, I know so much about it. And I've done 2 books on its history, so I know a lot about this.
So there's another line which I particularly love, which is about how, irrespective of wherever we are, we want to be able to share our stories, and in the sharing know that we are never really alone in this world. So I thought it was a really simple, nice line, because I think this is what we do in all our human interactions. Because we keep sharing anecdotes with each other, we keep sharing experiences, and then we realize that we are all very similar. And in fact, that doesn't only happen with Indians. I think if I do this in anywhere in the world, at the end of it, I realize that it is all that we all think and want similar things. So and I mean you brought this in the book at a very crucial point where she's feeling very depressed and lonely. But any thoughts on this particular thought?
It doesn't have to be similar stories in it. Just the fact that you've shared a story and
And see, we both have different points of view.
but just that we're able to talk, share the story is what makes life worthwhile, I think. And as a narrator, I mean, I like to tell stories.
Any thoughts from
See,
you?
for me, as a filmmaker, as earlier been in fashion, I think stories give us a lot of power. Stories or films or books are not just for escapism. It's not just to get transported, but you do get transported to another world. You can realize what you can be without the framework of a geography, without a framework of circumstances, without the framework of anything. You realize, and for me it's very powerful to be able to tell a story, to be able to read a story, to be able to transform into something else. So for me, stories are very, very important, and it becomes a great, connector. Like Ratna will keep saying it's not about Hyderabad, but I'm telling you, she's lying. But any Hyderabadi, anywhere in the world, will not rest until they find a common person between the two of them. It's like आप कहाँ के हैदराबाद के हैं अच्छा हैदराबाद के आप इनको पहचानते नहीं अरे नहीं भाई अच्छा तो उसको until you have found one person in common you will not let that person go ये नहीं कि अच्छा जान दो
You live in Banjara Hills. He also used to
He used to live in Banjara Hills. Which road number? No, that they broke that house. मतलब अच्छा वो माली भी मेरे घर को आता था until they find one person in common they are not letting you go. So that is the stories, that is the commonality, and it's not just language. It's a shared platform of some sort, and it's very
also
powerful.
some way of connecting.
Yeah, it's very
memory
powerful.
of a city.
Correct.
So I mean, I hope these conversations have intrigued you to read a bit about. I mean, read the book and discover more in it. Well, I read a digital version of it, and I actually read it rather quickly because it was almost like going through some letters, and it was really intriguing in that sense. But yeah, this is also about any of you would like to share something about the Hyderabad of today versus what it was. Because having said that like I said, that not much has changed, which is true that in the culture it still has that, somehow it has maintained it way better than many other cities. But it is the fact that the bungalows are becoming multi-stories and the apartments
That's why
which
it's
you
called the city
mentioned.
house,
Yeah. So it is a fact, the whole landscape is changing. And so yeah, any
Hyderabad is unrecognizable as a city until you meet a Hyderabadi, and then it's all the same. So I'm telling you the difference between, and when you keep saying I traverse between Hyderabad and Bombay as two homes. In Bombay, people who we know really well, you arrive and say, "Acha, main aa gayi," and they'll say, "Kab ja rahe?" And then you say Thursday, saying, "Okay, let's try and meet Wednesday." If you come to Hyderabad and say, "Kab," first he'll say, "Kab aaye?" They'll say, "Kal." तो कल आके आज फोन कर रहे हैं अभी घर को आओ stay with me नहीं आज नहीं अच्छा हमारे को दावत में जाना है you also come with us so it's always that so that and when you talk about the old new the Ganga Jamna Tehzeeb of Lucknow and Delhi I have to tell you here that here both the cities the Ganga and the Jamna are vibrant one is not a dying city so old city is not dying it's not just that you go there for your food
City can never die, my dear.
there it is the flag bearer of old city
People come from outside, they come to city, old city, they don't come to city.
but not as a museum part. मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ. When you go to Lucknow, or the old cities are is to say let's see how that world looked. Begum Bazaar and Hyderabad and Charminar in Hyderabad are vibrant. They still have an alive life. That's what is so new and I mean so different about Lucknow to a Hyderabad.
That's right.
That's so different from Delhi to a Hyderabad. But it's not just about old monuments and relics and
It's a
museums.
lifestyle
It's a
around.
lifestyle, yeah. It's a complete lifestyle. So I have hijacked your book. No, made it about Hyderabad.
It is, but it is. I also never ever thought that it was not about.
देखो जरा.
Yeah.
You please write and
I mean,
tell
it
us
is,
what you think.
I think it's just like it is an inherent love which has just come out.
देखो जरा.
So yeah, if any of you have any questions, otherwise we
Vinita,
also
you have a
then.
question.
बोलिए ना.
No, you have a
You
question.
have a question.
Anything you want to share also? Anything anybody wants to share, that'll be also lovely. It's not just about
Yashwant is a well-known architect. In fact, I wanted to have his Art Deco house on the cover.
I should have had it.
Exactly.
So with all his houses coming now, that's what.
Yeah, so good evening. I'm Yashwant Ramamurthy. I'm an architect.
born and brought up in Hyderabad, and I lived all my life in Marakpally. I continue to live there. It was once a beautiful precinct with old homes that had very strong Art Deco motifs about them. They're all being pulled down now. But I'm very sad about that. But as Ilahi was saying, the soul of Hyderabad is not gone. Maybe the physical infrastructure the city has, but the soul certainly hasn't. Some people say, oh, to go to Banjara Hills and look at it, it's different, the new structures. But then the new structures are giving us spaces like this. And this is what the new Hyderabad is all about. And not very different from the old Hyderabad. And giving us evenings like this to sit together and to talk nicely. So that would be my observation. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Since we are talking about Hyderabad, when we came here, this was 17 years ago, I was told by my husband that this was, a pause between getting back to Delhi. We're both journalists, and Delhi was where all the action is. Here, it was all about reporting on the Reddys and Reddy politics, and so I was done with that. And
Any
I thought
Reddies here, please put your hands up.
Yeah.
Or don't actually.
So 2 years, or Tollywood, right? So but 15 years later, we are still here. My husband had told me 2 years later we are back to Delhi. It never happened, and I don't mind the swap. I mean, I have loved it because Hyderabad has been very embracing. It's all embracing. They accept you for what you are, and they don't ask you questions like where do you live, like in Delhi and Bombay.
And whose daughter are you?
True. And like you said, the soul of Hyderabad is definitely Charminar, because the kind of culture and the kind of, there are so many minutes you see in just a span of, a drive around Charminar, you find there's so much life has to offer. But then you come to Banjara and Jubilee Hills and you see multiplexes and glass buildings, and then you're like, what the hell is happening? This is not life, that's life. So I think Hyderabad is beautiful. I'll never swap it for Delhi, at least now.
Yeah. So Vinita, I wanted to ask a question. You live in Begum Bazaar, in the old part of Hyderabad, in an old house, with having all the traffic constraints, but you will never leave, right?
Yeah.
How can I leave my soul? I can't.
Yeah.
And I'm here since February 1977, and I came from a very residential, quiet, peaceful locality. But you know something, I love this chaos, and I'd like to share. I'd like to share something. When I was new, and my father had told me, तुम्हारे ससुराल के पीछे एक बड़ी प्यारी सी नदी है. He meant the Musi Nadi. So okay, and हमारे यहाँ पर्दा रखते थे, so there was no question of me going into the balcony. And I was always a tomboy. It doesn't seem like it now. So then I asked my Nanad. I said, Gigi, we don't go to the balcony not to look at what's happening around the city. But Musi Nadi kabhi uthi nahi, it never overflew its banks. She said, परसों ही तो हुई थी. I said, really? And then I told my husband the next morning so innocently. I said, परसों flood आया था, मेरे को कोई बोला भी नहीं. तुम्हारा पागलपन है, कौन तुमको बोला? I said, जीजी बोली थी, तुमको पता नहीं हैदराबाद का परसों का क्या मतलब है? 16 साल की थी, अक्कल तो थी नहीं, आज भी नहीं है अक्कल वैसे. But it was, and I said, नहीं वो बोली परसों, तुमको हैदराबाद का परसों नहीं मालूम है? परसों का क्या मतलब हो सकता है? जैसे जब जितने परसों होते हैं, उतने तुम 100 years or 50 years ऐड करो. परसों. तो ऐसे हैदराबाद is surely the land of परसों, different from the northern सरसों. And आप ज्वेलर को पूछो, भैया आप हमारा सामान कब देंगे? परसों देता. परसों. हाँ, निकल गया आदमी लेकर के. निकल गया आदमी लेके उसका अपहरण हो गया. वो लेके मेरा सामान हो गया. क्या हुआ ये तो बताइए. नहीं, पहुँचता नहीं होगा. अरे यार, परसों से तो पहुँच रहा होगा. अब कितने परसों लगाएंगे? हाँ, अब भी चाहता. ऐसा ही एक हमारे यहाँ ऑपरेटर थे, क्योंकि घर इतना फैला हुआ है, तो जो है सो बोलता था, साहब 5 मिनट, जैसे आप बोलते ना 1 मिनट अभी बुलाती हूँ. So he rang, some college girl rang up for my Nanad, her name is Shraddha. So she said, Shraddha है? नहीं जी वो बाहर गई हैं. तो बोलना संध्या का फोन है. संध्या हो या सवेरा? कह तो दिया वो बाहर गई. वही संध्या हो सवेरा सुबह सुबह ऐसे में बोलता है क्या?
No, but which is so true. The Hyderabadi humor, the street humor is so on point. So our office is in Bashir Bagh, and then my friend had to go to Nizam Club, and then he called an auto. Auto वाला तो मालूम हमारे पास कभी कहीं नहीं जाते होगा. तो उस ऑटो को रोक के बोला चलते बाबू से कहाँ जाना है, तो बोले निज़ाम क्लब. तो ने बोले 50 रुपये. तो तब 10 रुपये रहते थे. तो ने बोला 50 रुपये. So my friend is saying देखो बाबू मेरे को जाके आके जाना नहीं है, सिर्फ जाना
भाई ये लोग फिर क्या है, हमारे गुरुजी आते थे मेरे को म्यूजिक सिखाने के लिए, तो उनकी वाइफ एक बार बोली कि ये मेरे को बेजार कर रहे थे गुरुजी. हमने क्या हुआ माता जी? तो हम लोग रिक्शे में बैठते हैं तो रिक्शा वाला पूछता है कहाँ चलना है आपको? बोले आज तक मैं अपने बाप को नहीं बताया कहाँ जाना है, तुमको कैसे बताया? लेकिन अगर आप बोलेंगे नहीं कहाँ जाना है, ये कहाँ लेके जाएगा? तुम चलो मैं बताता हूँ. फादर इन लॉ गाड़ी में बैठे, ड्राइवर पूछा साहब कहाँ चलेंगे? तो तुम चलो मैं बताता हूँ. अरे कहाँ चलो ये तो बताओ. तुम चलो मतलब गाड़ी से निकलो. अब मेरा प्रॉब्लम है हैदराबाद है, मेरे को सब जो है सो है. अब मेरे को ये नहीं मालूम है कौन सा रास्ता किधर है. तो मैं हस्बैंड आसमी अच्छा बेगम बाजार किधर है? फैसल इधर है. चार मीनार किधर है? इधर है. फलकनुमा किधर है? इधर है. तो तुम हर चीज़ को यहाँ क्यों बोलती हो? ऐसे अपना घर का दरवाजा गेट यहाँ है, उसी घर से जाना है. तो यही है. तो दिस इज द रियल हैदराबाद. एंड इतनी प्यारी भाषा, काइको नक्को. अब वही है. I'm so sorry I've taken more than the required time. I could go on and on, but I want everybody else to speak to.
And the north-south divide in Urdu also. So we use the guttural ha for everything. So it's hoon, keema. We don't there's a keema and all. It doesn't sound good. Dam ka keema is not as tasty as dam ka keema. So ऐसी को तो एक बार हम न्यूयॉर्क में थे. There was this author called Mona Mohsin. It was a very famous. So Mona Mohsin's married to a Hyderabadi. तो I came out of the loo and there was no water and I said पानी का खतरा नहीं है. So she said हमें कब से पानी का खतरा लगने लगा? समझ में नहीं आया पानी का खतरा. So for them खतरा is fear or whatever. What is it? What is खतरा?
Katra, danger.
So she, and otherwise they'll say कतरा. कतरा बोलता है.
Katra is-
कतरी का. But yeah, language is something else.
Yeah, we got here about 35 years ago. तो तब तो थोड़े जवान थे. तो आते ही one big culture shock I got was I went on the road and everybody addressed me as Amma. Now it wasn't easy getting used to that. फिर दुकानदार के पास जाके बोले उसने आना था 5 बजे. मैंने कहा 1 घंटा हो गया मेरे को इंतज़ार करते करते, 6 बज गए हैं, तुम बताओ आ रहे नहीं आ रहे क्या है? I was irritated. कुछ नहीं माँ, एक तो he was very irritated that I was irritated. तो क्या हो गया अगर 1 घंटा हो गया तो? And then he said, अब पता नहीं उन्होंने आए तो आ भी सकते. I had no idea till today what that means. I gave up and went back.
I just had to relate this anecdote which I wrote in my paper also about Farooq Sheikh ji se jab hamari when I was doing an interview and he was relating an incident where Farooq Sheikh when they were doing bazaar they were still fairly new actors. Farooq Sheikh and Nasiruddin Shah were going in an auto. So सामने वाला I mean पीछे वाला sorry he went on honking. तो क्या ऐसे I forget the exact word for it. ऐसे हॉर्न मारते रहे तो क्या गाड़ी चले क्या नो नाउ आई रिमेंबर. सो वो ट्रैफिक का लाइट बदल जाती है क्या बोल के बोल रहा था उन्होंने. सो ही वाज एक्सप्लेनिंग अबाउट हाउ ईच वन यू नो ही वाज वॉकिंग ऑन द रोड एंड ही सॉ सम रिक्शा वाला एंड ही हैड समथिंग टू से. So it was Farooq Sheikh and Nasiruddin Shah was, I mean, I met him after many years and he still remembers those memories of Hyderabad and how Hyderabad is so good with their humor. Dakkani humor ke apne paas so we had misal hai, there are so many great people who are actually known for their humor. We talk about stand-up comedy now, but we had a stand-up comedy for ages. I'm sorry I couldn't relate it so well, but it was extremely humorous. But yeah. So as a Marthe or you know, I remember one cab guy, he was there, auto wala cab guy I think. वो you know near the hotels they keep checking everywhere. अब क्या उल्टा करके देखना इच बाकी रह गया बोल Raghavan. So I was like, and it's there everywhere. I mean, the humor we are talking about, and it's amazing. And I think anybody who hasn't seen Bazaar should see it for the old Hyderabad.
That's true.
The
The
Maulani
dialect and all is
Hills
so
and all
beautiful.
that.
No, but
Even
I think only Farooq Bhai did justice to the language. With the way he spoke Dakhni. ये महमूद साहब तो उसको बैंगलोरी में बात कर करके he ruined it because we don't say मुझे मालूम so पट्टी पटा we don't speak like that. That was Bangalore. Only the Farooq Bhai did with that चुड़िया कहाँ से लेके आओ बोल के when he says.
Yeah, that dialogue just
he
keeps
was
echoing
the
in
best.
your head.
Nasir Bhai little bit in Mandi, but Farooq Sheikh was the best to do justice to the language.
I love the city to
जब वो हैदराबाद आए तो he said कि लोग मेरे को पूछे आप पानी नहाए पानी नहा तो आए जब मैं तो भैया पानी नहाया हूँ आप दो आप नहा
I just want to make a couple of points. Firstly, I think Ratna has written a book where it's Elahi, and the gentleman here who understood it better than us. Secondly, a small anecdote about Hyderabadi language that we're talking about. I happened to meet the thespian Dilip Kumar a long time ago, and his brother-in-law is evidently Hyderabadi. So he told me once
Yeah, his
that.
sister's married too.
Yes, so he said he just left the house in his car and he saw his brother-in-law outside at the bus stop waiting there. And he was amazed, why is he traveling by bus? So he stopped the car and he asked his brother-in-law, "Ki yahan kyun thehre hain aap?" So he said, "Chupich." so Dilip Sir thought that he was telling to chup ro. So he said, "I just went away."
No, but then chup is like, why? When we were playing outside, my uncle had come from the north and he said, "Dhoop mein kahin ko khel rahe?" So we said, "Chup." So he went into my father, कितने बदतमीज बच्चे हैं मेरे को चुप बोल रहे हैं नहीं चुप खेल रहे हैं आप लोग धूप में बच्चे yeah you're so right yeah
The other thing I think Elahi was talking about, how Hyderabad always beckons you rather than any other city. So I grew up in Bombay, but I never learned Marathi. It was all my friends who still speak Hyderabadi, even when they meet me about half a century later.
yes
Yeah, thank you.
absolutely.
I think we had a great session and yeah.
Sorry, I'm not going to take too much of time, but I've actually had the privilege of reading the book. And of course, apart from all the memories of Hyderabad that it evokes, what struck to me really poignantly was the fact that these girls have maintained their friendship across so many years. I mean, these days, friendships are so transient and in this day and age, it's very difficult to sort of maintain that kind of relationship over so many years. And I felt that is, like for me, that was the most beautiful part of the book, that of course it's very beautifully written, it's all about Hyderabad and the memories, etc., etc. But for me, I feel just that kind of friendship, even if you have it with one person, it adds so much to your life. So I think that was very, very beautifully incorporated into the book. Thank you.
Actually, the story is about those two girls.
Yes.
They didn't get it.
Ratna and I know each other for 30 years without ever meeting. So now what is about old friends? So रहते भाई दोस्त ना, it's about Hyderabad. You don't know what you've written, Ratna.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Can you give me a button?
Yeah.
Except the first settler of the gallery.
Well, Ratna, you've written a very fascinating book, and I like the way you wrote, the story of these two girls as they're growing up, and the grown-up letters, the exchange of letters. I thought that structurally the book was very, very cleverly done, so I like that part very much. And the language is beautiful and everything,
Thank you.
Yeah.
और मेरे बारे में?
मेरे में कुछ बोला
Ilahe is an unending story. We call her Chutki Pyar Se. And itni masti na. ऐसा बोलते, वैसा करते. I mean, if you want to really see a relic of what Hyderabadi language is, you talk to Ilahe. It's so cute, and my husband calls her Chutki also.
बोलने की जरूरत नहीं है, दे दो माइक.
इसके लिए तो जितना बोले उतना कम है. मेरे को भेज दे, पानी पूरी भेज दे मेरे को. आया, फिर उसको फोन करी पानी पूरी. मेरे को डिस्टर्ब ना करो, मैं पानी पूरी खा रही हूँ.
So we should give a big round of applause and congratulations to Ratna on beautiful work that you did. Thank you, Ratna. Thank you, Lahib, for all your anecdotes and all the stories that you shared. Manish, thank you for bringing all this together. Thank you so much, and you've been a lovely audience. Well, this evening has just begun. And Manish, maybe you want to talk about a little about the beautiful artwork that we have across.
So as we have a musical evening ahead, and of course Vishesh will introduce that very soon. But if you walk around, there's also art that we are showing today. So these are our new campaign images. This is how we see the women of Adya. And then it got the fancy of this artist Namrata, who actually does digital art, and she actually rendered the campaign onto the art form, which is what you see around you. And what we actually have tried to do this is to show the very many facets of women, and they enjoying every aspect of life in a sari, which is what we wish more and more people can take to. So yeah, so please do enjoy the art, and then yes, of course we have the music.
Yeah. So tonight we have a very special duo who's come all the way from the Valley of Kashmir, and it's Malik Parvez and Mohammad Kaisar who has come here, and they're going to take us to a Sufi journey. So let's invite them and get them on the. Thank you. Then we'll have a bit of a photo op.
Yeah.